What's up, YouTube? Kiwis here. It is currently 12:10 a.m. on September 25th, 2012, and the cool thing about today is that Mists of Pandaria comes out for World of Warcraft, so that's probably going to be taking up the majority of my next couple days. I want to hit 90 as soon as possible and possibly get back into raiding, but I'm not quite sure how it's going to work out with school and work. Um, Overall, I kind of just did an update. Went to locals this weekend, played the Gear deck again that I've been playing since Toronto. A couple changes with the Forbidden Lances. Nothing else has changed with the deck, but other than that, it's been performing really well. And I noticed after Indy that a lot of people are essentially dismissing the deck, and I can't see why. I mean, yeah, the machinist stuff is really good, but it's not that great. It's really weak to a lot of things, and I just felt like when I even tested it again, and I didn't like it at all whatsoever. Other than that, I guess it's personal preference. I'm gonna be at Rhode Island, and I'm assuming probably playing the same deck, but maybe not. I have something fun worked out. I guess a shout out to Slim because I saw his video, and even though he doesn't even know who I am at all whatsoever, he inspired me to make something that is essentially Machina Monster Mash. I didn't take the exact route that he went with it, but I also, and I made a couple changes, and I actually like my changes a lot. I'll probably do a video once I get everything together for that, because I'm still missing a few cards for it. I don't want to use common Galluses. I want to try and get my buddy's playset of German ones, which would be kind of cool. But I did want to do a deck profile also today, and it's on Dark World. I know, everybody's like, oh my god, everybody hates Dark World. Everybody hates Dark World. Oh well. This deck is really good. I don't know why more of it didn't top. I don't think much top. I didn't really look at what topped it in the end. I think I stopped caring after the 4th update that Jarrell did. And I was like, alright, so we kind of already know the format, and this tournament's really weak. It's cool that Billy did top with Insectors. I knew that deck was still really good, and I even tested it before Toronto because I was thinking about playing it at Toronto. Because the more that people think that the deck is dead, the better it gets. If you resolve the Dragonfly at Toronto, you won the game. It's just right there. If you resolve Dragonfly Hornet, you put yourself into a position, you pop 2 of their cards, maybe even more, and if you banished it with something like Levia or something, and brought it back, you have so much, it's just so much advantage. Major props to Billy. I like this build. I actually think mine plays, instead of Call the Haunted, I think it plays Call the Haunted, but it also plays Threatening Roar, and because Threatening Roar is really good in a deck like that. Mostly I wanted to talk about that stuff and tell you guys I am going to Rhode Island and do a really quick deck profile for you guys. This is just the Dark World deck that I threw together. It's basically based on Justin's. I played him in round 8 of Toronto, and it was a really awesome build, and I liked it a lot. And it is not playing Reckless Greed, and I 100% agree with him when it comes to his ideology concerning Reckless Greed, that it's too slow. And I agree. After playtesting without Reckless Greed, this deck was really awesome. So let's do a really quick deck profile, and we'll make this really, really good. If I can get my camera to be down there. Okay, so of course, 3 Grappa. Actually, let me turn the light off again. 3 Grappa. 3 Snow. 3 Brow. 2 Silva. Silva's really good because if your opponent doesn't know that you're playing Dark World and you do just so happen to have him in hand, and they do dealings, like you're gonna eventually, people keep thinking, well, good players won't do that. Well, obviously, but bad players will do that, and the majority of the people you're gonna play at an event are going to be bad players. So if they're playing Dark World and you have that in your opening hand, you do trigger that, you basically won the game. It's just like an extra perk. I mean, he is good. I mean, with Gates on the field, it's a 26, and 26 is kind of difficult for a lot of decks to get over. 2 Tour Guide, obviously, and 1 copy of Age. And this is like the standard build, the standard monster lineup that a lot of people are playing, and yes, I did copy the majority of it. I had a couple different ratios, and I changed it afterwards. 3 Gates of the Dark World, 3 drag down, 3 dealings. That's kind of blotchy with the foil, but yeah, 3 dealings, 1 terraforming, 1 card destruction, 1 Allure of Darkness. I like Allure in this deck. It's pretty good. 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Heavy Storm, and 1 Dark Hole. Standard for Dark World. Maybe not the Terraform. I like Terraforming a lot. Terraforming is really cool in this deck. Traps, 1 Solemn Judgment, 2 Deck Devastation Virus, mained, 2 Eradicator Epidemic Virus, mained. These 2 cards, in my honest opinion, are the only real reason to run this deck. And it's because these cards are good outs to essentially, Bottomless Trap Hole and Dimensional Prison. I would not summon a Grapha without one of these set if my opponent had a lot of back rows. Because essentially with this deck, if you lose your Graphas, you lose the game. That's it. Bottom line. And you can't lose your Graphas. And obviously the same reason with the 2 copies of Compulsory, which is, again, a really good card against the majority of decks right now. And it is, again, an out to Dimensional Prison and Bottomless Trap. Well, those 2 cards are going to be the bane of your deck. If you lose your Graphas, you lose the game. And then 2 copies of Torrential Tribute. Standard, and again, good against the other deck. And then 1 copy of Mind Crush. I didn't want to play a second Mind Crush. Every time I do, I always draw them in clumps. And while that's really awesome to do, I feel like 1's more than enough. I don't have any extra deck or side or whatever side deck made for this, so that was the deck profile. Other than that, yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys at Rhode Island.